Hello and welcome to Tips from a Roller. I'm Patrick Holmes. I am the digital marketing manager at AdRoll, and I want to talk to you about abandoned cart recovery today. I am making 3 videos. The first, this one, is the motivations that cause cart abandonment, kind of to give you context of how to think about it and how to remedy it. The second is psychological cues you can use on your website or store to mitigate some of the abandonment. And the third is psychological cues you can use in your retargeting or your email to increase the chance that shoppers will come back to your site to complete a purchase. So right now, what motivates shoppers to abandon? There's 2 categories of motivations for cart abandonment. The one is when shoppers are using cart functionality for reasons that don't involve their actual intent to purchase. And then the other is negative experiences with your checkout process or your store that lead them to get frustrated or have negative feelings and abandon the process. So the non-purchase cart use, the motivations that create abandonment that don't really have to do with your store. The first is when shoppers use the cart as a tool for organization or a way to make a wish list. The second is just shopping for entertainment, which was a big thing during the stage of the pandemic when everybody kind of had to stay inside, nothing was open. And then the third is using as a tool to track changes in price. So the organization tool or wish list, people can use it to put a bunch of products in the cart and just see what they have there, see what the total cost is, do research or side-by-side comparisons on products, or maybe have your cart with a bunch of products in it and then a competitor cart in a different tab with a bunch of products in it. People basically just using the cart as a way to see where they're at, what they have, whether they want to purchase or not. I've actually done this with coats, I think somewhat recently, maybe after I read the research paper that this is all based on, but put like 10 different ones in my cart and then just whittled down to side by side what I thought was the best one for me. And I've gotten a lot of compliments on those 2 coats. So customers that use shopping carts as organizational tools might still purchase in a later session. They might also be using one device like a mobile phone while they're doing something else like riding a bus or whatever to organize and create what they want to buy, and they might go to their laptop at home and purchase. People may also put things in a cart and then go to your brick and mortar store and use that as an organization tool with them while they're shopping in the store. So it's not all a loss when people exhibit this kind of behavior. People might also shop for entertainment. An enjoyable experience on your site might cause shoppers to take the step to add to the cart. This is sort of similar to a wish list, but they're just kind of passing time or just finding something to do on your site. This still matters because if shoppers enjoy your store, they'll develop a brand affinity for your brand, and also they may recommend your brand to other people if they hear conversation about your product category or whatever. They really liked your site, they really liked the experience, so they want to offer some of their own expertise to other people, like, oh, you should go to this site and buy from them because I really liked it, even though I didn't buy anything. People might also want to track price changes. They can add items to a cart and assume that the price will be reduced at some point. There might be 2 reasons for cost evaluations. One, obviously, a shopper might face a real budget constraint and not be able to afford the product at the moment. Other shoppers might not actually believe the listed price matches the value of the product. Either way, there is still some intent to purchase in either of these, and it might be something like a spring line just comes out for clothing and someone puts stuff in the cart so that later on, maybe after a lot of people have bought their spring clothes, they can go back and see if it's discounted yet. Or airline tickets are a good example of dynamic pricing, where you might see a price right now and kind of register that you've seen it cheaper before, so just wait another week or 2 to buy the airline tickets. The other category is negative user experience. This has to do with your actual checkout process or your store. It's merchant driven. So hidden costs at the end of a checkout process might cause abandonment. Poor mobile experience with like really tiny fields or buttons you can hardly click, that sort of thing, or just a lot of fields might contribute to abandonment on mobile. Frustrating checkout flow, really long or seemingly unnecessary steps. And the first was hidden costs. These might include expensive shipping. People are buying something small and then the shipping charge is really high. So at the last minute, they're going to decide not to buy. There might also be difficult to redeem discounts where they were kind of a promise that the normal price is here and the discounted price is much lower, but then you find out at the end that you got to jump through a ton of hoops to get the discount. That can cause frustration. And then just hidden fees at the end. So what you want to do is warn shoppers about any of these before they start the checkout process, maybe even make shipping cost predictions available at the beginning so they're not surprised at the end when they're taking their credit card out. More than half of consumers shop on mobile, so your store really should account for this. Optimize your checkout for small touch screens. Make sure you don't have a ton of resources in JavaScript loading on your site, and also your images. They don't have too high of a file size so that your pages all load really quickly. And as I said, avoid tiny forms and difficult to read text and really small buttons. The frustrations that might come from checking out also involve like lack of a guest checkout option. So in other words, making people authenticate or making people sign up might cause some shoppers to have a negative emotion or get frustrated and just not complete the purchase because they don't want to like give you their full name or their email address, or they just don't have time. Also, limited payment options might be frustrating if you only have like one thing and the shopper doesn't have that to pay you with. You might want to consider options like Apple and Google Pay, or even payment in installments with partners like Klarna, Sezzle, or Afterpay. I do some research into those before you actually put them on your website. So a lot of the sources of abandonment, the emotional reactions and all that came from paper I just want to give credit to from the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science that you can find it easily on Google Scholar if you look. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.